Getting caught driving without a valid driver's license in Illinois can have a really big impact on your driver's license. But does that even make any sense? If you don't have a driver's license, how can it be impacted? Well, it can. So let's talk about the Illinois law so you can be on your way to getting a valid license instead of worrying if you're going to get arrested every time you sit behind the wheel of the car. Hi, I'm attorney Derek Martin with Driver Defense Team in Chicago, and we help people fix their driver's license. One of the most common issues we see is people caught driving without having a valid driver's license. And so what happens is maybe you're driving along and you're pulled over for some unrelated reason. It could be a speeding ticket or running a stop sign or something like that. The officer comes up to the car and he realizes that you don't have a valid driver's license. You're not allowed to be driving in the state of Illinois. The reason for this could be maybe because you never got a valid driver's license in the first place, or you had one in another state and never got one here in Illinois when you moved, or maybe you just moved to the country and you never even got a driver's license. That one's very common. So in any case, you do not have a valid driver's license and you're pulled over. Oftentimes you get a ticket and the officer allows you to be on your way. But make no mistake about it, he can arrest you, and sometimes they do arrest you for this. It is a criminal offense. And here in Illinois, it is considered a Class B misdemeanor offense, meaning that the maximum penalty is up to a $1,500 fine and court costs and up to 180 days in jail. And so you're going to have to go to court for this and determine the outcome of the case. Obviously, you want to avoid those harsh criminal consequences. But in addition to that, what can happen is when you're pulled over and you're given this ticket, even if you don't have a valid driver's license, the Illinois Secretary of State is still going to issue you a driver's license number. You probably don't even know what it is, but that's what I mean when I say you can have driver's license issues without having a driver's license, because the Secretary of State is going to track this. And in court, if you are convicted of this, then you will not be eligible to get a license for 2 more months. If it's your second time, you can't get a license for 4 months. A third is 6 months, and a fourth time, you are ineligible to go get that driver's license in Illinois for 1 year. If it's a fifth, then you're revoked and you're not allowed to get a driver's license at all, at least until that issue is fixed. And so that's why it's really important to avoid a conviction for this. And so what our firm does is we're going to look at this as more than just a traffic ticket or a series of traffic tickets. We're going to go to the root of the problem, which is why don't you have a license in the first place? And sometimes we can fix that for you, sometimes you can't. But that's what we want to focus on and understand even before we get into court, because the best way to handle this is to get you the license, and we'll work you through that. And if we can walk into court with that license, we're going to have much easier time taking care of this ticket. Even if we can't do that, there's still some things we can do in order to minimize this impact, both on your criminal record, but also get you on that path to getting a license. Because we don't want you to be that person that is worried about getting arrested every time you get behind the wheel of a car. So let's talk and let's fix that.